Have you ever said this to yourself? I really want to speak English, but I just don't have enough time? Or maybe my day is already full. I work, I study, I take care of my family, so when can I practice English? Maybe you have another thought. I understand a little English, but when I open my mouth, nothing comes out. If that sounds like you, stay with me, because today I'm going to show you something surprising. You do not need 3 hours every day. You do not need expensive classes. You do not need to move to another country. And you do not need a perfect memory. Sometimes the biggest problem is not your English. The biggest problem is the way you are trying to learn it. Think about that for a second. What if English could become a small part of your normal day? Just like checking the time, making a cup of tea, or opening your favorite app. No pressure, no heavy study, no feeling of guilt because you missed one day. Just small moments, small actions, small progress. And one day, you suddenly notice something amazing. You understand more. You answer faster. You don't panic before speaking. That change doesn't happen because you became smarter overnight. It happens because your brain quietly became familiar with English. Today, I'll show you how to make that happen, step by step, using simple habits that fit into a busy life. And here's a little challenge before we even begin. Don't just listen to me. Become part of this lesson. Whenever I ask you to repeat something, say it out loud. Even if your pronunciation isn't perfect, even if someone is sitting next to you, your voice matters. Because English is not only something you learn with your eyes. It is something you build with your ears, your mouth, and your confidence. So, are you ready? Let's begin. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Learn English Unleashed. I'm Joyce. And I'm really happy you're here today. If you're a beginner, or if you've started learning English many times and then stopped, please know this. You're welcome here. There is no race. There is no perfect learner. There is only one small question. Can you become just a little better than yesterday? If the answer is yes, then you're already moving in the right direction. In today's episode, we're going to explore a completely different way to practice English. Not by adding more work to your day, but by using the day you already have. Imagine learning English while making breakfast, walking to the bus stop, waiting for your food, or getting ready for bed. Sounds strange? Maybe. But by the end of this episode, it will feel completely normal. And that's where real progress begins. A mini story. Before we talk about the first idea, let me tell you a short story. Not about a famous teacher. Not about someone with perfect English. Just about two ordinary people. Emma and Noah both wanted to improve their English. Both were busy. Both had jobs. Both came home tired. Every Sunday, they made the same promise. This week, I'll study every day. Monday arrived. Something unexpected happened. Work became busy. Tuesday, they were tired. Wednesday, they forgot. Thursday, they felt guilty. Friday, they decided to start again next week. Does that sound familiar? But one day, Emma changed only one thing. Not her book, not her teacher, not her schedule, just one small habit. What was it? That's exactly what we're about to discover, because that tiny change slowly changed everything. What do you think Emma changed? Did she wake up at 5 every morning?
No.
Did she suddenly find 2 free hours every day?
No.
Did she buy a new course?
No. It was much smaller than that.
But before I tell you, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt excited to learn English and then lost that excitement after only a few days? If your answer is yes, you're not alone. Almost every learner experiences this. But here's the important question. Why does it happen? Let's find out. The real problem isn't a lack of time. Many people say, I'm too busy. But is that really the biggest problem? Let's imagine two people. The first person says, I'll practice English for 2 hours every evening. It sounds like a great plan, but after work, they're tired. After dinner, they're sleepy. Then they think, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Now meet another person. This person doesn't wait for 2 free hours.
Instead,
They use 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 1 minute somewhere else. While waiting for the kettle to boil, they listen to English. While putting on their shoes, they say one simple sentence in English. While waiting in a queue, they repeat one short phrase. Slowly, English becomes part of normal life. No stress, no pressure.
just small steps.
Now think carefully. Which person do you believe will keep learning for 6 months?
Exactly.
The second one. Because success isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about doing something small again and again. Now, let's break a very common problem. Many beginners believe this. When I know more grammar, then I'll start speaking. It sounds logical, but that's not how children learn. And that's not how most languages become natural. Imagine someone learning to ride a bicycle. Would they read 10 books first and only then touch the bicycle? Of course not. They learn by riding. A little today, a little tomorrow, a little better next week. English works in a similar way. You don't become ready by waiting. You become ready by using it. Even if your sentences are short, even if you make mistakes, even if you need a few seconds to think, every small sentence teaches your brain something new. Can I tell you another secret? Sometimes the biggest enemy isn't grammar. It isn't vocabulary. It isn't pronunciation. It's trying to be perfect. Maybe you've done this before. You want to say something simple, but your brain starts asking questions. Is this the right tense? Should I use the or the? What if I say it wrong? And while your brain is busy checking every word, the conversation has already moved on. Sound familiar? Here's the solution. For now, don't try to sound perfect. Try to sound clear. A clear message is always better than a perfect message that never comes out. Mini challenge. Let's try something together.
Take a deep breath.
Now repeat after me. I can learn English one small step at a time. Again, small practice is still real practice. One more time. Every day is a new chance. Very good. Did you notice something? Those were simple sentences, but when you said them out loud, you weren't just learning English. You were using English. And that's exactly what your brain needs. A little promise. In the next part, I'm going to show you the first habit. It's so simple that many people ignore it. But learners who use it every day often become better listeners, stronger speakers, and much more confident over time. The best part? You can start today. You don't need extra free time. You don't need special equipment. You only need a few minutes and a small change in the way you use your day. So, what was the one small habit that changed Emma's learning? It wasn't a new notebook. It wasn't a new app. It wasn't studying harder. She simply made sure that English became a small part of her day, every single day. Not for hours, just for a few minutes. That small change slowly changed the way her brain reacted to English. At first, she understood only a few words. Then she started noticing short phrases. A few weeks later, she could guess the meaning of new sentences without translating every word. Nothing magical happened. Her brain was simply getting used to the sound of English. And that's exactly what your brain can do too. Tip 1. Build your English sound world. Here's today's first habit. Don't wait until it's study time. Instead, let English quietly enter your normal day. Think about music. You don't sit down and study your favorite song. You hear it again and again, and one day, you know the words without trying. English can work in a similar way. The goal isn't to understand every sentence. The goal is to let your ears become friends with English. At first, everything may sound fast. That's okay. Your job isn't to catch every word. Your job is simply to keep listening. Little by little, your brain starts finding familiar sounds. A different way to listen. Many beginners do this. They play a video. After 10 seconds, they stop it. They think, I don't understand enough. Then they close the video. But imagine visiting a new city. On your first day, every street feels unfamiliar. After a few days, you begin to recognize places. English is the same. Your ears need time to explore. Don't leave too early. Stay with the sound. A simple 10-minute routine. Let me show you an easy routine. No pressure. No heavy study. Just 10 minutes. Minute 1 to 2. Listen without worrying. Don't pause. Don't write. Just listen. Minute 3 to 5. Listen again. This time, notice any words you already know. Even if you hear only 5 words, that's progress. Minute 6 to 8. Smile. Relax.
Keep listening.
Your brain is still learning, even when everything isn't clear. Minute 9 to 10. Choose one short sentence you heard. Repeat it 2 or 3 times. That's enough. Then continue with your day. Simple, easy,
real.
Let's practice together. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. Good morning. I hope today goes well. Again. I'm on my way. One more time. Let's give it a try. Excellent. Don't worry if your voice feels slow. Slow is perfectly fine. Clear comes first. Speed comes later. A small moment that changes everything. Tomorrow morning, before you unlock your phone, try something different. Listen to just 1 minute of simple English. That's all. Not 10 videos. Not one long lesson. Just 1 minute. You might think, can 1 minute really help? By itself, 1 minute feels small, but 1 minute every morning for 30 days becomes 30 minutes of real listening. And more importantly, it becomes a habit. Habits are stronger than motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Habits quietly keep working. Your first mission. Before our next part, I have a tiny mission for you. Today, find one short English video or podcast. Listen for just 10 minutes. Don't test yourself. Don't count mistakes. Don't worry about understanding everything. Simply ask yourself one question afterward. Did I spend 10 minutes with English today? If your answer is yes, you've already won today's challenge. Because success isn't built in one giant step. It's built in many small moments that almost nobody notices. And in the next part, I'm going to show you a method that helps your mouth and your brain learn together. Most beginners skip it, but once you try it, speaking starts to feel much more natural. Don't study the voice. Become the voice. Have you finished your first listening mission? I hope you did. But let me ask you something. Have you ever watched someone speak English and thought, they sound so smooth? I wish I could speak like that. Then you tried to say the same sentence, but somehow it didn't sound the same. The words were correct, but the feeling was different.
Why?
Because most beginners only copy the words. They forget to copy the music of English. Yes, English has music, not the kind you hear on the radio. The music of pauses, stress, rhythm, and emotion. Today, we're going to train that part. And here's the good news. You don't need a beautiful voice. You don't need a perfect accent. You only need one simple skill. Learn to echo what you hear. Why your mouth feels slow. Imagine learning a new dance. Would watching the dance 100 times make your body move perfectly? Probably not. Sooner or later, you have to stand up and move. Speaking English works the same way. Many learners spend months reading, months listening, months watching videos, but their mouth gets almost no practice. Then one day, they try to speak, and it feels difficult, not because they are bad learners, but because their speaking muscles haven't practiced enough. Reading trains your eyes. Listening trains your ears. Speaking trains your mouth. You need all three. The echo method. Here's today's second habit. When you hear one short sentence, don't only understand it.
Copy it.
Copy the speed. Copy the pauses. Copy the feeling. Imagine you're standing beside the speaker. Your job isn't to create a new sentence. Your job is simply to become an echo. Don't worry about sounding perfect. Don't stop after every word. Just follow. Even if you're a little behind, even if you miss one word, keep going. Your brain learns much faster through movement than through silent thinking. Let's try it together. Ready? Listen to the sentence. Then repeat it. I'll check it later. Again. I'll check it later. Now this one. That sounds like a great idea. Again. That sounds like a great idea. One more. I'm looking forward to it. Excellent. Notice something. We're not memorizing grammar rules. We're building rhythm. And rhythm makes speech feel natural. A story from everyday life. Let me tell you about Liam. Every evening, he watched short English videos, but he never spoke. He thought. Listening is enough. Months passed. He understood much more English than before. But when someone asked him a simple question, He froze. Not because he didn't know the answer, because his mouth wasn't ready. One evening, he changed one small habit. After every short video, he repeated only 3 sentences, not 30, just 3. At first, his voice sounded strange. Sometimes he laughed at himself. Sometimes he made mistakes. But he kept going, week after week. His mouth became faster. Not perfect, just more comfortable. And comfort slowly became confidence. A question for you. Now think about yourself. When was the last time you actually heard your own English voice? Not inside your head, out loud. Yesterday? Last week? Last month? If the answer is, I don't remember, that's okay. Today can be your new beginning. Let's keep going. Right now, I want you to forget one idea. The idea that you must speak long sentences to improve. You don't. In fact, short sentences are often the best teachers.
Why?
Because your brain can focus on how they sound, not only what they mean. One clear sentence repeated 5 times can help you more than reading 50 new sentences. Only once. Small, but powerful. The biggest mistake during practice. Many learners do this. They hear one sentence. They stop the video. They repeat it. Then they stop again. Then they think, was that correct? Then they start from the beginning, again and again. So practice starts feeling like hard work. Instead, keep moving. If you miss one word, let it go. Follow the speaker. Catch the next sentence. Real conversations never stop and wait for us. So your practice shouldn't stop every few seconds either. Keep your voice moving. Your brain will slowly catch up. The 5-minute echo routine. Let me give you a simple routine. You can do it almost anywhere, even during a short break. Minute 1. Choose a short English video. Around 30 seconds to 1 minute is enough. Listen once. Don't speak yet. Just notice the speaker's voice. Minute 2. Play it again. Now repeat softly. Don't worry if you're a little late. Just keep following. Minute 3. Play it one more time. This time, match the speaker's energy. If the speaker sounds happy, sound happy. If the speaker sounds calm,
Stay calm.
English is not only words, it's feeling too. Minute 4.
Pause the video.
Say 2 or 3 sentences by yourself. Don't look at the screen. If you forget a word, say what you remember. That's completely fine. Minute 5. Smile. Take a deep breath.
Say,
I practiced today. Then continue with your day. No pressure. No long study session. Mission complete. Let's practice together. Ready? Listen in your mind. Then repeat after me. I'll be there in a minute. Again. I'll be there in a minute. Now this one. Let's figure it out together. Again. Let's figure it out together. Last one. Take your time. Again. Take your time. Excellent. Did you notice? Your mouth is becoming more comfortable, not because you learned 20 grammar rules, but because you moved your voice. A small challenge for today. Here's your mission. Find one short video, only 30 to 60 seconds long. Listen to it 3 times. Then choose only 3 sentences. Repeat each sentence 3 times. That's all. Don't choose a difficult video. Choose an easy one. The goal isn't to impress anyone. The goal is to make tomorrow a little easier than today. Remember this. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't need a fast voice. You don't need to sound like someone else. You only need to become a little clearer, a little smoother, and a little braver every day. That's how real confidence grows. Not in one big moment, but in hundreds of tiny moments that nobody else can see. And now, let me ask you one more question. What if your biggest speaking problem isn't speaking at all? What if it starts inside your mind before you even say the first word? That's exactly what we're going to explore next. Before your mouth speaks, your mind speaks. Have you ever noticed something interesting? Sometimes nobody has even asked you a question yet, but your brain is already saying, what if I make a mistake? What if they don't understand me? What if I forget the words? The conversation hasn't even started, yet your confidence is already getting smaller.
Why?
Because your mind is practicing fear instead of practicing English. Now here's a question. What happens when you practice something every day? You become better at it. So if you practice worrying every day, your brain becomes better at worrying. But if you practice speaking every day, even for just a few minutes, your brain slowly becomes better at speaking. The habit you repeat becomes the habit you keep. Change the first sentence in your head. Tomorrow morning, before checking your messages, before opening social media, try something different. Say one simple sentence in English, not in your notebook, not silently, out loud. For example, today is a fresh start, or I'm ready to learn something new, or let's enjoy this day. Simple words, simple thoughts, but something important is happening. You're telling your brain, English belongs in my day, not only inside a lesson, inside real life. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Many learners say, I'll practice after dinner. Then dinner becomes late. They say, I'll practice before bed. Then they feel sleepy. The perfect moment never arrives. So here's a better idea. Don't wait for the perfect time. Use the next small moment you already have. Waiting for your coffee? Say one sentence. Walking to another room? Say one sentence. Waiting for a website to load? Say one sentence. Tiny moments may look unimportant, but when you collect them, they become powerful. Let's do a quick speaking boost. Ready? Repeat after me. I'm getting better every day. Again. I'm getting better every day. Now this one. Small steps lead to big changes. Again. Small steps lead to big changes. Last one. I don't need to be perfect. Again. I just need to keep going. Very nice. Notice how natural that feels now compared to the beginning of today's episode. That's because every time you speak, your brain and your mouth work together a little better. A story you might recognize. A woman named Mia wanted to speak English with confidence. Every evening, she watched lesson after lesson. She filled notebooks with new words. She highlighted grammar rules, but she still avoided speaking. One weekend, she made a different decision. She stopped asking, "How much can I study today?" Instead, she asked, "Where can I use 1 minute of English today?" While making breakfast, she spoke one sentence. While folding clothes, another sentence. While locking the front door, one more sentence. None of those moments looked special, but after a few weeks, English no longer felt like a school subject. It started feeling like part of her everyday life. And that small change made speaking much less scary. Today's takeaway. Before we move to our next big idea, remember these 3 simple thoughts. Listen a little. Repeat a little. Speak a little. Not once a week. Every day. Because confidence doesn't suddenly appear one morning. It quietly grows, one small practice at a time. And in our next part, we're going to explore something that changes the way fluent speakers think. They don't translate every sentence in their head. Instead, they do something much simpler. Once you understand this, speaking starts to feel lighter, faster, and much more natural. Stop looking for English. Start living in English. Before we learn today's new habit, I want you to imagine something. You wake up in the morning. Your phone alarm rings. You turn it off. You open the curtains. Sunlight comes into your room. Now here's my question. What language was your first thought in? For most people, it was their native language, and that's completely normal. But what if just one tiny thought each day could slowly teach your brain to think in English? Not long conversations, not difficult grammar.
Just small thoughts.
Small moments, small wins. Today, that's exactly what we're going to practice. You don't need to think big. Many beginners believe thinking in English means I need to speak long sentences inside my head.
No.
That's much harder than it needs to be. Let's make it simple. Instead of asking your brain to do something difficult, give it something easy. When you open the window, think, nice weather today. When your phone rings, think, someone is calling. When your tea is ready, think, it's still hot. When you're looking for your keys, think, where did I leave them? Tiny thoughts, only a few words, but every one of those thoughts saves your brain from translating later. Why translating feels slow? Let's see what usually happens. Someone asks, how was your day? Your brain hears the question. Then it moves into your first language. Then it builds the answer. Then it tries to change everything into English. That takes time. And while your brain is still working, the other person is waiting. Now, imagine something different. Instead of translating, your brain already has small English thoughts ready. So when someone asks, how was your day? You don't search for every word. You already have simple ideas like, it was busy. It was relaxing. It was fun. Speaking becomes lighter, not because you're smarter, but because your brain has less work to do. Let's build your first English thoughts. Don't worry about long sentences. Let's begin with everyday moments. Imagine you're tying your shoes. Think, I'm almost ready. You're waiting for an elevator. Think, it's taking a while. You're charging your phone. Think, the battery was low. You're opening the fridge. Think, what should I eat? You're sitting in traffic. Think, we'll get there soon.
Can you see the pattern?
These aren't textbook sentences. These are life sentences, the kind that real people quietly think every day. And that's exactly why they're powerful. Mini challenge. Let's try something together. I'll describe a situation. You say the first simple English thought that comes to your mind. Ready? You're walking outside, and suddenly you feel cool wind. Maybe you say, it feels nice.
Or,
it's windy today. Now another one. You're waiting for your friend. Maybe you think, I hope they arrive soon.
or,
I'll wait here. Very good. There's no single perfect answer. The goal is simply to let English enter your thoughts. Little by little, day by day. A question to keep in your mind. What if becoming fluent doesn't begin when you start speaking? What if it begins the moment your thoughts quietly change? We'll explore that together next. Let me ask you something. When you first learned to drive a car, did you feel relaxed? Probably not. You looked at the mirrors. You watched the road. You thought about the petals. Everything needed your full attention. But after enough practice, something changed. You didn't stop using those skills. Your brain simply stopped working so hard. Speaking English works the same way. At first, every word feels like a small puzzle. But after many simple repetitions, your brain starts recognizing patterns instead of building every sentence from the beginning. That's why today's habit is so important. You're not trying to become perfect. You're teaching your brain to notice English naturally. Turn everyday moments into English moments. You don't need a classroom. You don't even need a notebook all the time. You only need to notice what's happening around you. Let's imagine a normal afternoon. You're opening your backpack. Everything is inside. You're looking for your earphones. Think, where did I put them? You receive a message. Think, I'll reply later. You're filling your water bottle. Think, I need more water. You're waiting for the elevator doors to open. Think, it's finally here. Did you notice something? These thoughts are short, natural, and useful. They're the same kind of sentences people use every day. Stop chasing difficult words. Here's a mistake many learners make. They believe using big words means better English. So instead of saying, I'm a little tired, they spend 20 seconds trying to remember a difficult word. By then, the moment is gone. Simple English is powerful English. Clear communication always wins. When you build confidence with easy sentences, longer sentences come naturally later. Never feel embarrassed because your English is simple. Every fluent speaker once started with simple words too. The 2-minute thinking game. Let's play a small game. Tomorrow, choose just 2 minutes. Maybe while you're making breakfast. Maybe while you're walking. Maybe while you're waiting for your computer to start. For those 2 minutes, don't force yourself to speak perfectly. Just describe what is happening inside your mind or quietly out loud. For example, the coffee smells good. I need my notebook. The bus is almost here. I forgot my umbrella. If you don't know one word, don't stop. Use easier words. Keep your thoughts moving. Fluency grows through movement, not through stopping. Let's practice together. Ready? Repeat after me. I'm looking for my keys. Again. I'm looking for my keys. Now this one. I'll finish this first. Again. I'll finish this verse. Last one. Everything is going well. Again. Everything is going well. Excellent. Now notice something. You didn't memorize a list. You practice sentences that can become part of your real life. That's the difference. A small story. A college student named Ava always believed she needed 1 free hour to practice English, but her timetable was full. One day she stopped searching for 1 big hour. Instead, she collected tiny moments. 30 seconds before class, 1 minute while waiting for her friend, 2 minutes during lunch. By the end of the week, she realized something surprising. She hadn't found more time. She had simply started using the time she already had. That small change became one of her biggest improvements. A little secret before we move on. Your brain loves familiarity. The more often it meets the same kind of simple English, the less energy it needs next time. That's why tiny daily thoughts are so powerful. They're not exciting. They're not dramatic, but they quietly change the way your brain works. And in the next part, I'm going to show you how to turn those simple thoughts into natural speaking without feeling like you're giving a speech. From silent thoughts to real conversations. Now we've reached an important moment. You've learned how to listen. You've learned how to echo a speaker. You've started building small English thoughts. But here's the next question. How do those quiet thoughts become real conversations? The answer is simpler than most people think. You don't suddenly start speaking for 5 minutes. You begin with one clear sentence, then another, then one more, just like putting one brick on top of another. A house isn't built in one day. A conversation isn't built in one sentence. It grows, one idea at a time. Stop waiting for perfect sentences. Many beginners stay silent because they're searching for the perfect answer. Someone asks, "What did you do today?" Your brain starts looking for a long, impressive reply. But real conversations don't work like that. A simple answer is enough. For example, I had a busy morning.
Pause.
Then add another thought. I finished some work. Pause again. Now I'm feeling relaxed. See what happened? You didn't build one giant sentence. You built 3 small ones. That's much easier. And it sounds natural. The one more sentence rule. Here's a habit I want you to try. Whenever you say one sentence, ask yourself, can I add just one more? Not 5 more, just one. For example, I'm making dinner. Now add one more. It smells really good.
Or,
I'm waiting for the train. Add one more. It's running a little late today.
or,
I'm watching a short video. Add one more. I'm learning something new. That's how conversations grow. One thought, then one more. Let's build it together. I'll say the first sentence. You imagine the second. Ready? It's raining outside. Maybe you add, I'll take my umbrella. Next one. I finally reached home.
maybe.
Now I can relax. Another one. I'm cooking dinner.
Maybe.
I'll try a new recipe today. Very good. Notice something important. There isn't only one correct answer. Real English is flexible. Your sentence doesn't have to match mine. It only needs to express your idea. A story about small progress. Let me tell you about Daniel. Daniel believed fluent people spoke in long, perfect paragraphs. So every time he practiced, he tried to say everything at once. He became nervous. He forgot words. He stopped speaking. One day, his teacher gave him a simple challenge. Never say more than one sentence at first. Daniel laughed. It sounded too easy, but he tried it. First sentence.
Pause.
Second sentence.
Pause.
Third sentence. Slowly,
His confidence changed.
not because his English became perfect, because speaking no longer felt heavy. He finally realized a conversation is not a speech. It's simply people sharing one idea at a time. Your 3-minute speaking routine. Let's create a routine you can use every day.
Minute 1.
Choose one topic. Maybe your morning. Maybe your lunch. Maybe your plans for tomorrow. Say one sentence. Minute 2. Now add one more sentence. Don't think too much. Just continue naturally. Minute 3. Say both sentences again. A little smoother. A little more confidently. Then smile. You're done. 3 minutes. That's it. Small practice. Real improvement. Repeat after me. Let's finish today's lesson together. Repeat after me. One sentence is enough to begin. Again. One sentence is enough to begin.
Now.
I can always add one more idea. Again. I can always add one more idea. Last one. Progress grows one step at a time. Again. Progress grows one step at a time. Excellent. You should be proud of yourself, not because everything is perfect, but because you showed up. You practiced.
You spoke.
And that's exactly how fluent speakers are made. Looking ahead. Now, let me leave you with one final question. What if speaking isn't the hardest part anymore? What if the real secret is learning where to find English practice without changing your daily schedule at all? In the next part, I'll show you how to turn ordinary moments, like making breakfast, walking to work, waiting in line, or taking a short break, into natural English practice without adding extra study time. And once you start doing that, English will stop feeling like a subject and start feeling like a normal part of your life. Turn ordinary moments into English moments. Before we begin, I want you to answer one question. How many times today did you wait for something? Maybe you waited for your tea to cool down. Maybe you waited for a web page to open. Maybe you stood in a line at a shop. Maybe you waited for someone to reply to your message. Now think carefully. What did you do during those moments? Did you immediately open social media? Did you start scrolling without thinking? Most of us do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what if just one or two of those waiting moments could become English practice? Not 20 minutes, not an extra lesson, just the time you already have. That's today's secret. We're not trying to find more time. We're trying to use the time that's already there. The hidden minutes you never notice. Many people believe they don't have time to learn English, but they don't notice the small spaces in their day. 1 minute here, 2 minutes there, 30 seconds somewhere else. Those moments disappear so quickly that we forget they even existed. Now, imagine collecting those tiny moments. 1 minute before breakfast, 2 minutes while waiting for a ride, 3 minutes during a short break, 5 minutes before going to sleep. Suddenly, you've practiced English for more than 10 minutes, and it never felt like studying. That's the power of small moments. Don't pause your learning. Here's something I want you to remember. Your day doesn't stop because you're waiting. So your learning doesn't have to stop either. Let's imagine you're making a sandwich. Instead of standing silently, try saying a few simple sentences. I'll make it simple today. I need one more slice. That looks good. Or maybe you're filling a water bottle. You can say, it's almost full. That should be enough. Notice something. These aren't classroom sentences. They're life sentences, the kind you can actually use. And that's why your brain remembers them more easily. A short story. Let me introduce you to Sophia. Sophia worked in a busy office. She always said, I don't have time for English. One afternoon, she looked at her day more carefully. She noticed something surprising. Every day, she spent a few minutes waiting for meetings to begin, waiting for files to upload, waiting for the elevator, waiting for lunch. They were all small moments, but together they added up. So she made one simple rule. Every waiting moment became an English moment. Sometimes she repeated one sentence. Sometimes she listened to a short audio clip. Sometimes she described what she could see around her. Nothing complicated, just small practice. After a few weeks, she realized she wasn't trying to find time anymore. She had simply stopped wasting the time she already had. Your first micro-routine. Let's build one together. Tomorrow, choose one waiting moment. Only one. Maybe you're waiting for your computer to start. Maybe you're waiting for your breakfast. Maybe you're waiting for someone to arrive. Instead of reaching for your phone immediately, try this. Say 3 simple English sentences. That's all. For example, I'm ready to begin. Today feels busy. I'll do my best. 30 seconds. Maybe 1 minute. But you've already practiced. Mini challenge. Let's do one together. Imagine you're waiting outside for a friend. Repeat after me. I'll wait right here. Again. I'll wait right here.
Now.
I hope they arrive soon. Again. I hope they arrive soon. One last sentence. It's a beautiful day to be outside. Again. It's a beautiful day to be outside. Excellent. Did you notice? We didn't create an imaginary classroom. We used a real moment from everyday life. That's exactly how English becomes natural. Curiosity before we continue. But here's something interesting. What happens when there are no people around, no teacher, and no one to speak with? Does your practice stop? Not at all. In fact, some of the best speaking practice happens when you're completely alone. And in the next part, I'll show you a simple method that can quietly build your confidence every single day, even if nobody is there to talk to you. Become your own speaking partner. Now imagine this. You're at home. The room is quiet. No English teacher.
No classmates.
No speaking partner. Most learners think, I can't practice today. But let me ask you something. Do you really need another person every time you want to speak? The answer is
no.
Sometimes the best speaking partner is already with you. You. It may sound a little strange at first, but stay with me. This simple habit has helped many learners become more comfortable with English, not because someone corrected every mistake, but because they finally started using their voice every day. Don't wait for a conversation. Many people wait for the right moment to speak. They think, I'll speak when I meet someone who knows English. Days pass. Weeks pass. Sometimes months pass. And almost no speaking happens. Here's a better idea. Don't wait for a conversation. Create one. Not with another person. With your own day. Your day is already full of topics. You just need to notice them. Talk through what you're doing. Let's try something simple. Imagine you're getting ready to leave the house. You pick up your bag. You can say, I have everything I need. You put on your shoes. I'm almost ready. You lock the door. Let's go. That's already 3 real sentences. Now imagine you're making lunch. I'll cut the vegetables first. The pan is getting hot. Lunch will be ready soon.
No script. No memorización.
Just real life. And that's exactly why your brain remembers it better. The 60-second talk. Here's today's new challenge. Every day, find just 1 minute. Only 60 seconds. Choose one simple topic. It could be
what you're doing right now,
what you did this morning, what you're planning this evening, what made you smile today.
now speak.
Don't stop because of mistakes. If you forget a word, use an easier one. Keep going until 1 minute is over. That's the goal. Not perfect English. Continuous English. Let's practice together. Imagine you've just arrived home. Repeat after me. I'm finally home. Again. I'm finally home.
Now,
I'll take a short break. Again. I'll take a short break. Last one. Then I'll finish my work. Again. Then I'll finish my work. Very nice. Those 3 short sentences already sound like real life. And that's exactly what we want. A small story.
let me tell you about Ethan.
Every evening, he walked his dog for 15 minutes. Most days, he listened to music. One day, he tried something different. For just 5 minutes, he talked about everything he could see. The park is quiet. The trees look beautiful. That family is having a picnic. At first, he felt a little awkward. He even smiled at himself. But after 2 weeks, something changed. Speaking didn't feel strange anymore. It felt normal. Not because he had learned thousands of new words, because he had stopped being afraid of hearing his own English voice. That was the real breakthrough. A question for you. If no one judged your English, if no one laughed, if no one interrupted, how much more would you speak?
Think about that.
Sometimes the only person stopping us is ourselves. Looking ahead, we've learned how to use waiting moments. We've learned how to become our own speaking partner. But here's another interesting question.